Hello, everyone. I am SS, the showstopper, and today is the 27th of September 2023. I have an audience today. I'm sorry. Okay, so today will be a double pack. Okay, I'll be discussing Love and Hip Hop Miami and Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. Yes, so you're getting two for one today. Now, I was watching Love and Hip Hop Miami, and I saw wherein there's this female upcoming rapper by the name of Zoe, who is a very large, very dark skinned black woman. And for what I don't know her music, but for what they have been saying is that she's very talented. So she was to be on an album or a compilation a compilation of other artists on an album, and also a collaboration with other artists including Trina. And she went over, she was to the first time I think she was introduced to Trina was hurrying, and then she said she don't want to meet anybody. So it gave a negative atmosphere or a negative reaction or a negative feedback to Zoe, and she didn't really like that. So she was reintroduced at a party, and she was just saying, she made a comment that she don't know if she's walking over to the Mean Girls and stuff like that. And then Joy, who is a cousin of Trina, was saying that, hold up, there's no Mean Girls there. And she said she went from 0 to 100, saying that I wasn't talking to you, I wasn't this, that. And then Joy said, nobody's talking about to your fat ass, something like that. She made that comment. And then Zoe moved from 0 to 100 and was starting to cuss and cussing everybody out and saying that she wasn't talking to her, she was talking to Trina. Trina got back to Zoe, I think it's her manager or mentor, whoever that individual is that has a connection, who's bridging the gap between Zoe and other artists to do a collab. And Trina was basically like lodging a complaint saying that she was uncomfortable with Zoe and the remarks that she made towards her cousin Joy and stuff like that. And it gives a negative atmosphere. And, she basically not interested in working with her. So that I think her name is Super Cindy, something like that. She went back at the meeting with Zoe and spoke to her and said that they want to pull her off the album because her argument was aggressive. She came at Trina cousin the wrong way. So Zoe became really upset and was saying that they're taking sides with that female all because of Trina, and Trina wasn't even a part of it. So people are basically siding with Trina for no reason, not giving her a chance. And here is my take on it. I think that Trina was the one who pushed a negative atmosphere, a negative image, like a negative energy. She wasn't interested. It seems to me that she didn't like Zoe. Perhaps she didn't like the large black woman image that she's pushing. And we all know that black women tend to be hard on each other. In particular, women who are large in build, very large in build, women who are dark skinned, they tend to be the butt of every joke, and the ones who get the attack and stuff like that, constantly body shame, get a negative feedback at all times because people think that they are easy target. And I'm thinking this is the case with Zoe. Yes, she didn't have to go that hard on Joy when Joy respond to her, but she uses it as a defense mechanism because she knows how she has been treated basically all her life, because she's a large girl who happened to be dark skinned. So she put it on as a defense mechanism where she basically has to protect herself and stuff like that. So I can understand where she's coming from, but at times it's not always a war, and Zoe needs to understand that. Every day it's not always a war, and doesn't mean that someone is out to attack you, and you can't use a defense mechanism, and then when people are defending themselves, then you're going to say that, okay, people are picking on you and people are this or people are that, because their go-to argument will be based on your size, and your go-to argument will be basically on anything, calling them skinny bitches, calling them this, that, and the third. So we can understand where you're coming from, but at the same time, you have to understand that you can't walk around and just be a firm soldier, militant at all times, thinking that everybody is out to get you. And there's a worry, if you were skinny and you had the same attitude, it would have been the same thing. No, yes, you're comparing yourself with Nicki Minaj and saying that if it was Nicki, they wouldn't have come at you. They would have said nothing and allowed Trina to speak. That is true, because there are levels to this. Nicki is a well-established #1 queen of rap. So clearly it's going to be a bit different from an unknown rapper who's trying to get into the game. So you are right. It would have been a different scenario and a different atmosphere. I believe that respect is needed. It's not about kissing people's ass or anything like that. But I think I get where you're coming from, and I'm getting to that. It's not about kissing people's ass and stuff like that. You have to learn to be respectful and respect yourself and know that people are already going to have something negative about you. But it's best that you lead with a positive foot and a bright face. Trina, on the other hand, and her relative, I think that Trina just wasn't having it. I think the narrative have been pushed that she's the queen of the South and she's this and that and she's the gateway or the rites of passage to get into hip-hop if you're from Miami, if you're from down south and stuff like that. And it needs to be rubbished. You own nothing. You own nothing. You are in charge of nothing. It should never be like that. And this is one of the problems that are in music, where people think that because they're in position of power or authority that they can trample down, they can dismiss, they can be disrespectful, abrupt and rude to others, and thinking that they should walk away, they should ignore it, they should turn a blind eye. It doesn't work like that. Everyone is human being, everyone has feelings, and the same way one person may walk away and turn a blind eye to it, it doesn't mean everyone will, and that's just the harsh reality. So Trina, you went about it the wrong way. You were introduced to her. If you had to hurry or you weren't feeling well, you could have said, it's nice knowing you. I think this is a very poor timing. I will see you again. We will talk another time. But I'm sorry, I have to go. It could have been done there. You could have just, but you said you have to go and that I don't want to meet anyone else. I don't want to be introduced. And it sounds very rude. People hear that. It sounds very rude. And you came back again at the party and you said nothing. You were standing in your crowd. And it seems like Joy and the others are just the bully. You guys are a bunch of bullies, and you use Joy and others as your mouthpiece. So instead of you getting into argument with people, they are the ones who are going to attack others for you on your behalf, and you just sit back and you walk around with the innocence that you didn't trouble them, the passive aggressive behavior and undertone. I didn't trouble you, I didn't interfere with you. No, but your friends did. You understand me? So it gives a bully atmosphere. The situation with Amara and her 2 children, I get to understand that the guy is married, whatever the case may be. He chose to have sex with her. He chose to get her pregnant. He needs to stand up and be a father and be present in his kid's life. That's all I'm saying. And if you can't be all day, every day, then you should make up a routine or a schedule wherein you can be there, because it matters not how rich Amara is or how successful. The child really needs 2 parents, and it needs a father in their life to stand up and be a protector and also an active provider in their life. So I can understand where Amara is coming from. And she's saying that people are coming at her because she says she loved the guy, and those are saying that, many are saying that she loved the guy more than her kids. It's not the same love. Eros and agape, which are the 2 types of love out there, and Philios, which is philanthropic work or charity type of love, they are not the same. The love that I have for a guy cannot be the same that as I have for a child, because I'm not sleeping with my child. I do not have an erotic feeling towards my child. I have that towards someone that I was intimate with and someone who I procreate with. So it can't be the same thing. People like to run with that narrative that they love a man more than they love their kids. Even if that woman is a crackhead or that guy is a crackhead, it won't be the same affection unless you're an incestuous individual. It can never be the same affection that you have for a man or a woman you will have for your child. And that's just how it is. So she loving the guy. There's absolutely nothing wrong with her loving someone. She had children with him. She had twins. She had twins with the guy. What's wrong with her coming out? And this is what I'm saying. Black women tend to be extremely harsh and critical of each other. And I don't like it. It's always like you want to be reprimanding mommies. I was just on a live yesterday and we were speaking on a particular person out there who is in the media and in the spotlight based on his career, and we're talking about his wife who came forward and spoke out on him, and women were bashing her. She was a young girl when she got married, and all I'm trying to get people to understand that, listen, this is a young girl, whatever the case may be. We don't know what we know at 50 at the age of 25 or 21, and it matters not what you want to say. And they were just in the business of bashing, of getting at her. And I always say black women always want to be the reprimanding mommies, the bullies, the one who use negative reinforcement to get their point across or to make people see it. And you don't realize that it's easier to catch bees with honey than fly with shit. You understand me? So sometimes it's okay to be compassionate. Not because you had it rough and no one saw you or no one empathized with you. It doesn't mean that you should pass the same curse down to the future generation. I'm not going to feel sorry for her. I'm not going to care for her because nobody cared for me, or because the guys prefer her or may like her because she's younger or more attractive. I'm not gonna like her. I'm not gonna care for her. It should never be like that. There's nothing wrong with being an elder and being someone in the position of caring and understanding. And when I spoke about it, people got in their feelings thinking that I'm an ageist and I'm coming at them. So I had to let them know that, listen, I'm not a young spring chicken. You understand me? I just look it. You understand? Because God has blessed me in many ways than one. Anyways, it's the same thing. I think that a lot of women in the comment section with Amari were just being reprimanded mommies. They want to be bullies. They want to use negative reinforcement to come at her. And we have seen, yes, a lot of generation of women have made mistakes. Some willful, some see the obvious problem. But that doesn't mean that they need the badgering and the whole, coming down on them at all times. It's okay to be compassionate, to be caring, to be understanding. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. You understand? And so I can see where Amara is coming from. Because you love someone, you love them. You understand me? And it turned out sour. We all cry. We all have feelings. You understand? So I just thought that was it from Love and Hip Hop Miami. I just think that people are being extremely rude. People are being disrespectful for no reason. People are being too harsh on individuals. And, I think I've lost our humanity. I've lost our humanity, human decency, and, empathy, all that good stuff. Moving over to Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, I am very proud of them. They had a meeting, a sit down, and it was great that they spoke about the history and slavery and the rhetorics, the racism terms that are pulled out there. Remember, I said that I'm happy that Erica was terminated, but I'm still not commending Love and Hip Hop because at the same time, why would you put someone out there? It's not the first time that she has been like that, but you instead re-employed her for her to display the same behavior towards other women. I spoke about all the things that's in other videos previously. I'm not going to get into the microcosm of it. All I'm just saying right now, as we speak, I'm glad that these ladies had a sat down with a doctor. She was speaking on the history. Seems that she's an historian. And she was giving them information of what Thomas Jefferson in his manifesto, the things that he thought of black women compared to orangutan, and in comparison to other white women versus white women who they say had the flair, had their loin together, had their beauty together. That was based on his eyes and his racist rhetoric that he was spilling, because racism is a system. It's not just you dismissing a person based on their skin color. It's a system wherein you believe that one race is inferior to the other based on a whole lot of things, and it's structured through what? Politics, religion, sports, entertainment, and guess what? The media. And because of such, throughout history, they have put it to the world that black people are animals. Black people are lower class animals. They are closer to animals than they are to human beings. And so they were treated, not even as such, they were treated way worse than lower class animals. And to this day, people are still using the rhetorics, a lot of racist rhetorics on each other. And you will find it with Erica Mena, who believes that she's lighter. She came in the black community, benefiting off the black community, getting paid by black women to come on a show. And she believed that she's the most coveted based on her hair and her skin color. And because of such, she can be disrespectful to Spice. That's why she's upset. And she believes that Safari really likes Spice and like Amara, because how dare him? I'm the light-skinned girl, I'm the Latino, I'm the most coveted based on what I was taught and how I was raised. So for you, who caters to light-skinned women or cater to women like me, how dare you go out there and try to disrespect me, try to date these type of women, catering to Spice in her sickness and giving her more compassion than you would me, who was your wife, who was the person. And like I said in my previous videos, I'm thinking that when Erica was upset, those were the same racist rhetoric she was spilling to Safari. That's why he has no problem not giving a F about her. Because for a man to be madly in love with you and completely take a 360-degree turn to not even wanting you to be around him, and he's on internet partying, grinding on other women in front of your face for the entire world to see, that man is sending a very serious message. He is sending a serious message. So I'm thinking that you spill the same rhetorics to him, but a lot of men are not going to speak. I spoke on him being on the previous reunion, and when they asked him to say his side of story, he chose to remain quiet. And I'm thinking that that was the case. She's very racist. And he just didn't want to speak on it. And I'm glad Spice came out and Spice said, it matters not what others say. She exposed the racist. Erica Mena is very racist, and I'm glad she was removed and the other network have fired her also. She doesn't need to be making money from black people. She needs to go over to Telemundo or to the KKK community and see if she can make money from them, or see who she can sleep with to get her way to the top in the KKK community or over in the Latino community. Her business, she's not talented. She's not known for any talent. I don't see her with any business that she's established or pushed out there that have been doing well. We haven't seen that or heard of it. And what is she on the show to do? To just create drama and sleep with another guy out there and create one drama with one individual after the other. So that was basically, I don't see the purpose of her being on the show. We don't need racism. It's not tolerated. And I spoke of a lot of black women also in the comment section who were supporting her simply because Spice is a dark-skinned woman and they believe that Spice is wrong by all means necessary, and they want to feel like they are the preferred black woman out there. So it's easy to go against the grain. As Malcolm X said it before, that whenever it is something happens between a black person and a white person when it comes to racism, immediately the media will turn to another black person who is a traitor and a sellout to get their opinion on it. They're not going to turn to someone who is against the system of racism. They're going to turn to a coon, a traitor, a laughing sambo, a sellout out there and highlight them and put them at the forefront to make it seem as if the black person is automatically wrong. And that's just how the narrative is spin. Remember I said black people not running anything. You're not in control of the media. So you are not in control of what is being depicted out there of you. Because what they do is push negative stereotype for it to be remain as the imagery of black people. Forget about the successful doctors, the attorneys out there, the mentors out there, the persons who hold their head up high. I'm not talking about an ex-con who decide to turn around. I'm talking about a person who decide to hold their head up and suffer it out, struggle it out, come out on top and remain with a clean slate and decide to be an upstanding citizen in the black community. They're not getting the limelight. They're not getting the highlight. I need to do a video on it and start calling names of people who are actually upstanding citizens in my community, who have stood their grounds, who have hold it out, who have a clean slate and choose to remain as such. Who people have vouched for, that these people are of integrity and valor. I need to do a video on it. So I'm glad that Love and Hip Hop have come out and they have had a table, a meeting, and have spoken about it. I saw Erica made in a comment that she wasn't invited on it and it's unfair and they're doing this. She will say anything except to admit where she was wrong. And at this point, babe, you're not wrong. You are actually right. Because you are a racist, and that's what racist people do. You understand me? This is what they do. They come out and when they're upset, they say things that's really on their mind. And then they come around tomorrow and say, use them being upset and taking jabs and saying that you were taking jabs at me or you were disrespecting me. And it gives me the right basically to say what needed to be said. And because there are those out there who do not like the dark skinned woman, who do not cater for her, who don't, believe in her protection or believe in her voice or her being a victim, then they will automatically run on Erica Mena train because the black community caters for the lighter skin individuals than they are of the darker skin. We see Amy Luciano on it, and she was speaking of her family members who are Puerto Ricans, and when she traveled with them, it's black women who are complimenting the kids, the lighter skin kids, and saying that they're so pretty. And she was like, don't you see the gorgeous black girl? Don't you see all this black melanated beauty right here? No, they don't see that. They only see. So it's a part of programming, and you have been programmed for many centuries. And you haven't. I always say it's a disastrous way that descendants of slaves think and function, because people over on the continent of Africa or wherever it is other black people reside, naturally born who weren't enslaved or colonized, they don't think and function the way that a lot of us do. And it's a constant fight to get out of that cycle. It's a constant fight to get over that cognitive dissonance. It's a constant fight to get over that hurdle. And we don't think that there's a battle going on in our mind. We don't think that there's a battle going on within the society and how it's constructed. We don't think so, because we accept what we are and who we are and how we function as normalcy. And that's where the problem comes in. If nothing is wrong with it, it means it's okay. It should never be like that. It should never be like that. Racism is racism. Evil is evil. It's not good. However, that's all I have to say on it. I think that it was great that they had a sit down. It looks mature on their part. I hope that they and I like Sierra's spirit, how she is, the way she speak and the way she conduct herself. I'm so proud of her. I also like Jessica White. These beautiful, gorgeous black girls. They're just so intelligent, and they seek to conduct themselves in a wholesome manner. I've also seen Yandy Growth on the show. I spoke of this Yandy Growth on the show, where it's just not about feud anymore. It's just not about constant argument. She's looking great. She looked like a successful businessman. She's still businesswoman. I'm sorry. She's still sexy. She's still beautiful. Rashida just the same, and that's what I'm embracing. That's what I'm embracing on the Love and Hip Hop franchise. You know, they're just pushing black women in a more positive light. And so, yeah, there will be drama and then there will be squabbles. But at the end of the day, it's a beautiful thing when you highlight racism and you try to eliminate it in its entirety. It has no place in 2023. And I'm so proud of them for making the right step. And that's all I have to say on it. Thank you so much for your time. Enjoy your day. God bless you.